We're in chapter 13 of water reuse, and we're talking about introduction to decentralized systems. These systems are going to be more in your rural environment. So let's say you have a hospital that is out in the country, or more likely like a rural school that's out in your area, and these are decentralized. So I've actually worked at a couple of these elementaries slash high schools where they'll take the water and inject it into the soil as irrigation, or to get rid of it. And it's a really neat process. I think water reuse is really geared towards this. A small rural school, or small cluster of homes. Perhaps a developer out in the country has put 15 houses on a lot. They're not connected to the city or county infrastructure, and you can really do some cool things with water reuse with these decentralized units. You can use those. Most of those are going to be your drip irrigation systems. I know in Ohio we have several of these. I've done some of these drip irrigations for gas stations too. So these gas stations that are out far away from any kind of major infrastructure. So the type of systems on 771, you have your individual residential, my house, your house that's in the country, your cluster residential, they define it as two or more homes grouped together, and then a housing development or a subdivision. They also have remote outdoors, like your campground, your parks, the agricultural, and then your commercial is how they are classified in the book. When we have a decentralized system, we need to talk about what kind of collection system are we going to have. Are we going to have gravity? Or is your cluster of homes able to gravity feed to the wastewater treatment facility? Or if you're in Tennessee and you have lots of hills, you possibly have to install lift stations, or what they call a vacuum collection system, where there's a constant vacuum and a valve will open, and it's constantly vacuuming the waste to the centralized treatment facility. Once again, just as we've talked before, there's several different ways that you can do it. You can do your gray water separation, where you can just take the water that's used for hand washing and laundry and use that, or you can treat the whole unit of all the wastewater and use that for your irrigation. This is the On page 780 is the composition of domestic gray water. So gray water is the water that we talk about from showering and from hand washing, typically when they have that. When I was over in Australia, they use those techniques. Your technology is going to be really what you want to use it for, and what is your governmental regulation. What are they going Regulatory agency? What are they going to allow you to get away with, or to do legally? 787. I've never actually seen this, but that's a source separation toilet, where it you know once again, what we're trying to do is separate you know, gray water from water that contains human waste, right? Like that's one option that we have when we talk about water reuse. On page 794, there are several different type of uh, treatment systems. They can go as big as having an activated sludge plant, or they can be as small as a septic tank on an individual home. There's been a lot of negative press about small systems because typically those have been hired out to people who do not have the technical abilities to manage these. A lot of schools are constrained by budget, and so they may not be able to hire a certified operator. And so it is on the maintenance man to maintain this, and he may not have the technical capabilities to really know what he's doing. Some do, some get their class A. This is, I will mention, a great way for you to make money is by being a contract operator for schools, for small developments that have these decentralized plants. Ohio is really making a lot of these decentralized plants go to more of a centralized to tie in. I think that's good. These decentralized plants, they can be done correctly, but they do take a lot of work and a lot of time to do them properly. And once again, you are trying to protect your license, so do it with the utmost integrity. But they also have come a long way with smartphones. My plant that I have, I can run from my iPhone, and a lot of these decentralized plants, if it's built right from the beginning, can have that technology there, which allows the operator a better chance of producing a quality effluent, right? I know when I first started, we would get alarms, but the alarms wouldn't call out or they were just audible. Well, if you're in the country and there's an audible alarm, there's nobody to hear it. So it may be a whole day before I get to it to see what the alarm was. Well, a whole day of one pump not working can be catastrophic to your system. So technology really has come a long way. We just need to integrate that with these decentralized systems because there's not an operator there 24/7. One thing we need to be concerned about is nutrient removal. We need to remove our ammonia and our phosphorus. We can do that aerobically and anaerobically. But we need to make sure that we remove that. On page 808, I'll just throw out there's a couple different types of collection systems that are there, um, and it really has a lot to do with the topography of your site. Management and monitoring decentralized systems is to improve performance, to overcome historical failed on-site systems, allow for cost savings, and to allow for development and testing of new technology, and allow for the orderly development of areas without wastewater collection. There's some advantages to these decentralized systems. Well, that was a short, sweet chapter 13. Thank you.